Just recently, our team received a 1-star Google review. Now, I wish I could say that this was some sort of misunderstanding or maybe be able to blame it on a member of my team for someone out there in the public having a negative experience with our team, but I can't because this one's totally on me. I personally was named as the person involved in the negative review, and I'm going to own up to it and give you my thoughts on the matter in this video. And stick around to the end of this video because I will post both the review and my response. You see, about 2 weeks ago, I received a call from a member of the public looking to set up a showing for our brand new listing in Langley that had just hit the market that very day. Now, before I get too far into this story, there's one thing you do have to know about BC real estate and how it varies from any other real estate market in the entire world. In 2018, BC outlawed what they call limited dual agency in the industry. So that is the practice of one agent representing both the buyer and seller in any single transaction. The superintendent of real estate here in BC, as well as council, identified that there is absolutely no way that you can represent both parties to a transaction fairly and correctly and completely avoid conflicts of interest when you're representing both of those parties. You see, it would be like going to court, and once you're done being prosecuted by, let's say, the Crown's lawyer, to just say to that lawyer, hey, since you're the lawyer here in the courtroom today, do you mind crossing the aisle? And now that you've done prosecuting me, can you also now make the counter argument and defend me at the exact same time? Like, could you imagine if Johnny Cochran would have also got to prosecute OJ? I bet you absolutely no justice would have been served in that case whatsoever. Okay, but back to real estate in BC and enough with my corny jokes. So I received this call from a random member of the public, and they had requested to come and see our new listing. At this time, I did my duties as a BC real estate agent, and I disclosed to the person that, this is my client's listing, and asked them if they would be having their own representation or if they would be doing this purchase as an unrepresented party. It's at this time that the person identified themselves as a savvy real estate investor, and that they actually did not have or would not have any reason to have an agent help them with the purchase. And to top it all off, not only did they tell me they were a savvy real estate investor, but they started telling me things like why they wanted to buy the property, who it would benefit, and how much they could afford. Now, I have to reiterate that it is totally legal to be an unrepresented party, just like it is totally legal to go to court and represent yourself in front of a judge and not have a lawyer present. However, when you do that in BC, it is the realtor that you're speaking with's obligation to disclose to you the risks that an unrepresented party will take on if they don't have their own representation. And after making that disclosure, that is when this member of the public actually fessed up and said, no, I will be using my own agent if I like the home. I just won't have them there and present for the showing. And this is where things started to get kind of bad. Before I go too much further, if you're still here and you're interested in hearing this story and exactly what's going on, if you could just please hit the like button really quickly. I'd love to get this story out to more people who can then better understand BC real estate. You hitting the like button is the best way to share a story like this to help educate those people. So unfortunately, in our marketplace, this does happen quite often. A buyer will go to a property. They will say that they're not working with an agent, or they don't have representation, or they don't plan on having representation, but they will go view the property with that realtor, thinking that they can just write an offer with that agent, or that they'll have another agent show up after the fact and help them present an offer. However, in BC, and following my duties of disclosure, I advised this member of the public that it would not be right for me to introduce them to the property because I am the representation. I'm basically the prosecutor or the defense attorney, whichever side of the aisle you're on, and I represent the other party in the transaction, and that anything I learn about you will be used against you in any future negotiations. I mean, it is my job to advise my client and protect their interests, and their interests are to get as much money out of you, the buyer, as humanly possible. And you as the buyer should have your own representation there so they can properly guide you through the process as well. The member of the public advised me that it's my job to show the property no matter what, and it doesn't matter to me whether or not they bring in an agent after the fact. Now, this is where the conversation started to get a little bit argumentative. Now, at this point, if someone is argumentative from the public on the phone with me, obviously I'm not doing a very good job, so they should have their own agent anyway. If somebody's going to get argumentative about the details of showing a property, can you imagine what would happen in not only negotiation, but in a contract if that contract was accepted and something were to go wrong? What makes you think that I would want to subject my seller, the client that I have a fiduciary duty to bringing that person into their home? Well, then the conversation got really bad. It's at this point that the member of the public informed me that their agent was too busy and lived too far away to come and actually show them the property. Well, this is probably where Steve goes wrong. I'm not putting up with that shit on the best of days. I definitely get on the defensive when I hear agents are too busy to represent their clients. At that point, I basically said something like this to the caller. Are you telling me that your agent, who owes a fiduciary duty to you, is either too busy or unwilling to come out and show you a property that they stand to possibly make more than $20,000 off of if you make a successful offer on the property? How can they possibly tell you what a good offer price would be or advise you on terms and conditions if they haven't seen the home themselves? Well, as you can imagine, this is a fairly unfriendly, heated conversation. It only lasted a few more minutes before ending. Now, regardless, to say that potential buyer did not come and see the property, but what they did do about 10 minutes later is hopped onto Google and left me a review saying that I was arrogant, unfriendly, and rude. Well, as I said in the beginning of this video, I'm definitely going to own this one. It is my firm belief and the belief of every single member of my team that we hold ourselves to the highest possible level of professionalism in the industry. Okay, YouTube, thumbnails excluded. We will continue to make the correct disclosures required by counsel, as well as we will not breach not only our own client's confidentiality and agent relationship, but the agent-client relationships of anyone else. In fact, past the first point of conversation about factual information about the specific property itself, every single real estate agent has to make these disclosures to you in advance of finding out any personal information about you. And if they don't, they are already in breach of the rules. So the moral of the story is twofold. If you are looking to view a property anywhere in BC, do not call the listing agent. Call your own agent so they can give you proper, professional, and confidential advice. This is the best way to protect yourself. You might think that you are savvy enough to not give the wrong information to the other party, but trust me, I'm a professional negotiator, and if I want that information out of you, I can get it. And two, I'm going to wear this 1-star Google review as a badge of honor. My clients hire me to represent them and only them in their transaction. And that's exactly what I'm going to do, not only in this case here, but in every case for every single client. No one ever looking to circumvent the rules will ever take priority off of those duties that I have to my clients. And I hope that when you're purchasing or selling real estate, for that matter, that you can find someone that holds themselves to the same regard. I'm talking about the highest level of professionalism, no matter whether or not it's here in my marketplace of Surrey, BC, the Fraser Valley, or anywhere in the world. If you would like to understand more about the benefits of hiring your own real estate agent, you need to know about the disclosure of representation in trading services form that all agents must show you before providing you any personalized advice whatsoever. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please hit the like button for real estate professionals everywhere, and we'll see you in a couple of days.